clients who've made Gold Line an industry leader. Give us a call today.
So just what's necessary or just for show? To hear my next guest tell it, all of those new National Guard troops just now making their way to the border, well, they border on laughable, not the troops who are just trying, but their relatively measly numbers, which are not encouraging. In fact, Communications Director for Congress and Data Rollback, Tara Setmayer, says, far from making the border more secure, they just made our crackdown on illegals suddenly more laughable. And Tara, a lot has to do with the fact you say they're not there to protect the border as much as play kind of like a glorified Home Depot construction role, right?
Well, that's what I said. Last time during the Bush administration, when we sent National Guard troops down to the border, that's essentially the function that they served in. When we were building the border fence, they were glorified construction foremen. Now they were there in a support capacity, which is a very ambiguous term that they use to basically admit that they will not be there in a law enforcement capacity, meaning they're not going to detain, engage the way we think when we think the National Guard is going to be on our border. They're not there to secure the border necessarily.
So a role we assume troops on the border have, they might not have. I mean, these security agents, obviously given the fact that prior their members have been arrested, if they've gone too far trying to, nab those trying to crack into the country, they're leery, and what's more, they're not given much federal backup if they do get forceful, right?
Listen, I talk to border sheriffs all the time, particularly in Texas, and what we're dealing with down there is a war zone. We do need to have a National Guard on the border, but not in the numbers of 1,200. Upwards of 6,000 is what Senator McCain and Senator Kyle would like.
I wonder that even if you got 6,000 of them doing that, and yet 6,000 of them are like just doing glorified,
right. Well, there's
weekend,
a part B to that.
Homework type activity, then that's not getting it done.
Absolutely. There's a part B. If we have the numbers, that's where we need to start off first. Then we need to give them the rules of engagement necessary to secure the border. What happened in May, which is interesting, when Obama initially mentioned that he was going to send troops back down there, Mexico, the Mexican government was very upset with that, and the State Department came out and said, well, immigration will have nothing to do with this. They will not be there in that capacity. They'll be there to stem the flow of guns and illicit drugs going from the U.S. to Mexico. Well, that's not the role that the American people want to see our Guard troops in. I mean, we are dealing with very serious incidents. Over the weekend, there was a Hezbollah-type car bombing in Juarez, which is a stone throw away from El Paso. We think the drug cartels, the violence is stepping up. We have Mexican military corruption and incursions onto American soil that happen all the time, 300 plus since 1996. And last time our troops were down there, we had a Tennessee National Guard group that got a commendation for running away from Mexican troops that were on our soil. We can't have that. This is, I'm not very confident that the troops this time around are actually really going to make a difference.
Thank you, Tara. Good seeing you again.
You're welcome.
When we come back, British Petroleum or break up petroleum after the cap of the crackdown, the cost and now the crack up?